Good morning and welcome to another session of MJM024, and the topic today is gender and media. Today we will focus on the relationship of gender with media and implications of that relationship for media producers as well as the members of the society. Firstly, let's understand what gender actually means. Gender refers to the relative position of a man or woman in a given caste, class, race, geography context. Gender is seen as dichotomous binary. But in some societies there are 3, 4 or even 5 genders. In Asia, South Pacific and North American societies, individuals who adopt gender behavior ascribed to opposite sex. They live and dress beyond their biological boundaries. In any given society, the roles, qualities and behavior of biological man or woman are defined by the members of the society. Most often, the valuation associated with female roles, qualities, behavior is inferior. Males get certain advantage or freedoms in terms of mobility, resources, sexuality, fertility, property and so on. Being female means restraint over mobility, behavior, sexuality and lack of access to resources and opportunities to generate resources. Sex and gender are often used as interchangeable terms, but they are different conceptual constructs. The basic difference between gender and sex are variously employed, and it includes everything from the sex cells to sexual behavior, whereas gender is all pervasive. Sex invariably is a psychological construction, whereas gender is a sociological construction. Sex refers biological differences between men and women, boy and girls. Gender is a cultural construct. Biological functions of males and females are genetically determined and immutable, whereas in gender, cultural belief systems determine gender definitions. Now let's discuss media. What is media? In simple words, anything that is used to reach out to people in any society. It could be street plays, textbooks, out-of-house media, proverbs, songs, stories, drawings and paintings, or technology-mediated mass media like television, radio, newspaper or films and even internet. It is necessary to understand that while portraying gender, media can present it in 2 types. Stereotype media. When media portrays a particular stereotype, it reinforces expected code of conduct in a given society. Selective media. When media selectively presents the reality about roles, behaviors, qualities of women as well as men, even about caste, class, religion, race and ethnicity. Selective media. Selective representation inevitably influence the members of the society as well as people in question. Issues like who are media personnel and how they influence what is shown have also become critical in recent times. If media has men more than women working as employees, more often, realities, especially of women, poor people, would not become part of media content. These audiences, when they do not see such realities being shown, feel more marginalized. Relationship between gender and media. According to UNDP HDR report 2007-2008, the historic disadvantages of women are their limited access to resources, restricted rights, muted voices in shaping decisions. This disadvantage makes them highly vulnerable to climate change. Media is one of the main players in this socialization. Sexism. It is reflected and reinforced by gender differences and inequalities in language use and non-verbal communication. Simplest example of it is the way we call history as his story and mankind in spite of women bearing the burden of human society. There is a variation in degree of equality amongst males and females. This variation has been historical as well as cross-cultural. There is a radical female disadvantage across cultures globally. Visibility and invisibility. Health, nutrition, beauty, language and so on get shaped by media, and all these are gendered. Women continue to be shown in advertising to add glamour value. They are objectified and commodified. If you pay attention to media in your daily life, you'll realize that media simplifies the diversity within the third gender. Even American media is not different. Dr. Stacy Smith of Annenberg School of Communication and Journalism for the Gina Davis Institute on Gender in Media reveals males outnumber females 3:1 ratio in family films, just over half of the population in the United States. This ratio has seen in family films is the same as it was in 1946. As per Gender Media Monitoring Project 2009-2010, while women form half of the population, women become news subject only 1/4 time compared to 76% of men. Only 13% stories globally were women-central stories. Only 10% has gender policy reference. Only 6% stories highlighted gender equality. Media makes gender issues visible as well as invisible, at the same time also made them visible from a standpoint. Certain visibility is good. The invisibility leads to absence from mainstream discourse. Farmer suicides, child sexual abuse, smoking and drug abuse, honor killing and many such issues. While represented on one hand, media creates public opinion may lead to stereotyping, selective representation or even misrepresentation. Portrayal and representation. Portrayal refers way of showing. In recent Delhi gang rape case, many news TV channels and newspaper Daily of India referred the girl as Nirbhaya to portray the girl who was raped. Stereotyping. Most commonly research and discuss portrayal issue are stereotyping. Women are mostly shown as delicate, pretty, helpless, whereas men are shown in control of the situation. Masculinity is valued and femininity is shown as unimportant. Media creates caste, class, religion, education and other variable stereotypes. UNESCO's review of literature on women and media, Gallagher notes, a picture remarkable only for its overall consistency when compared from one country to another. Alexander Georgia, Rubab Nasir and Huyen Tran argues gender misrepresentation in mainstream media is common across countries and cultures all over the world. Globalization has initiated the spread of a strong global culture that has permeated and changed societies, values, traditions and perceptions. Although there are similarities in the way in which women are misrepresented in media, there are also certain differences dependent upon the global cultural interest with these local values, culture and societies pertaining to gender and media. Example, India, Latin America, USA. Gender in mainstream and alternate media. The mainstream media is all pervasive, largely commercial and privately owned media. Mainstream media producers usually stick to what is supposedly expected by large majority of its audiences. The conventions used in mainstream media are stereotypical and largely gendered. Leela Rao observes that media monitoring by various women's groups have produced three main insights. Print media's deceptive and insensitive portrayal of women's issue, highly patriarchal content of television programs portraying women as having limited or no role outside the house, female models in TV commercials trivializing women's domestic work and achievements outside the home domain. There are numerous advocacy groups, NGOs and governmental organizations working for public service. These agencies showcase gender more sensitively than mainstream media and are called alternate media. There are projects and organizations dedicated to media literacy and gender sensitization. The Global Media Monitoring Project Report 2015. The Global Media Monitoring Project, WACC's flagship activity, is the largest and longest running research on gender in world's news media. The Global Media Monitoring Project data shows that news paints a picture of a world in which women are virtually invisible. As the first chart shows, only 24% of newsmakers in the world and 22% in India are women. With a few women being newsmakers, the stereotypes about men and women continue to abound in them. The 2015 Global Media Monitoring Project report further reinforces that women are central to only 11% of online news stories and 15% of traditional news media compared to other as shown in Chart 2. Chart 3 depicts The Global Media Monitoring Project report further stating that only 4% of stories shown are challenging gender stereotypes in comparison to 42% that reinforces them. Implications of gender media relationship. According to UNESCO, fair gender is professional and ethical aspiration, similar to respect for accuracy, fairness, and honesty. It says that women need to be more present at higher levels of the news business, both at work and in unions. In a world where the hard news is still mainly reported and presented by male journalists, this equality is not just women's issue. Everyone benefits from eliminating discrimination. Some implications of misrepresentation of gender in media are stereotyping. As we discussed earlier, stereotyping refers to fixing certain characteristics to individuals. It provides ready-to-use templates for everyone. Media producers find it easier to use stereotype as it eases the communication. But the ease to reach out can't be at the expense of gender. Morality and sexuality are defined through representation. Heterosexuality is considered norm and homosexuality as abnormal. Stereotyping influences normalcy definitions of a given society. The people who are stereotyped also may get impacted in their perception about themselves. Socialization. Media plays an important role in socialization. The way media shows men, women, and third gender impacts the way people perceive them in real life. Commodification of women in advertising, promotion of unwanted needs through consumerism, projection of unsustainable lifestyles are realities of media. Media saturated times, making viewers getting carried away by what is shown, and gender is no exception. Omission and commission. Media inherently eliminates certain realities and exaggerates certain other due to various societal and institutional compulsions. Some studies show that women newsmakers may face pressure due to their gender. Stories by women journalists may not see the light of the day due to bias of male editors. Homosexuals face discrimination at workplace due to their gender preferences. Projects. Several initiatives regularly undertake media monitoring and examine the gendered aspects of the media, as well as advocacy activities that promote change in policies within newsrooms and journalism practice. Some of them are: Global Media Monitoring Project is a longitudinal research advocacy initiative on gender in the world news media, globally coordinated by the World Association for Christian Communication, which carries out report every 5 years to monitor change in selected indicators of gender in news media. We discussed its 2015 report in previous slides. The Learning Resource Kit for Gender Ethical Journalism and Media House Policy. WACC and International Federation of Journalists launched a resource to promote gender ethical journalism. The Learning Resource Kit for Gender Ethical Journalism and Media House Policy is the outcome of a project launched in July 2011 to promote fair gender portrayal within media. The book is divided into 2 parts. Book 1 concentrates on conceptual issues about gender in news reporting, and Book 2 presents gender ethical thematic guidelines on reporting different kind of news. Screening Gender Training Kit. Screening Gender is co-production of various European nations on equal opportunities for women and men. The training kit has been produced within a 3-year project promoting good practice in gender portrayal in television 1997 to 2000. The kit is primarily aimed at media professionals for use in training as well as in program development and evaluation. The Gender and Media Handbook. The Mediterranean Institute of Gender Studies from the Republic of Cyprus has created the Gender and Media Handbook in 2005. The handbook is basically on promoting equality, diversity and empowerment, is also available online for readers. UNITWIN. The International UNESCO UNITWIN Network on Gender, Media and ICT is in a process of developing curriculum for gender-sensitive coverage of media issues for media schools. It is also publishing under the title Gender, Media and ICTs, New Approaches for Research, Education and Training. Organizations. A number of organizations as well as networks of women media professionals are also working in diverse way to monitor and critique media trends and support women in the media. National organizations. In 1983, Government of India constituted Committee on Portrayal of Women in Media. Many women's groups and magazines like Manushi made gender issues visible. Some major organizations working for sexual minorities like AWAG, Ahmedabad's Women Action Group, and Seva in Gujarat, Skills in Chennai, Women Feature Service in Delhi. The Network of Women in Media has 16 centers across the country. International organization. The Gina Davis Institute on Gender in Media, founded in 2004, aims at changing female portrayals and gender stereotypes in children's media and entertainment. Asia Pacific Institute for Broadcasting Development, in collaboration with Friedrich Ebert Stiftung, published a booklet, Broadcasting for All, focus on issues of gender and media. In 2010, Still Killing Us Softly 4 was made by Jean Quilon with the Media Education Foundation. It examined objectification, sex stereotypes, body or self-image, and representation issues in advertising. The Global Women's Studies and Gender Research Network was established in 2006 by UNESCO, which has continued to work in the area of gender and media. Women communicators. There have been women communicators who have created gender-sensitive media in India and abroad. There is a media created by women and media created for women. Not necessarily all the media created for women is gender-sensitive. Organizations like Jagori, Nirantar, Seva, Chetna, etc. have created volumes of material which is gender-sensitive. There are newsletters, storybooks, reading materials, reports, etc. Women like Kamla Bhasin, Deepa Dhanraj, and many others have worked on women's issue with gendered lenses. Indian Association of Women have been instrumental in bringing together autonomous women's group in the country. Women issues. Women's issue have become mainstream issue in 21st century. International Women's Day is celebrated on 8th March. Social media is providing alternative space for voicing women's concern and lives, but it is also promoting women's stereotypes. Decriminalization of Section 377 has led to public acknowledgement of third gender. In this unit, we discussed about how media and gender are inseparable and how valuation of feminine as inferior and masculine as superior is all pervasive globally. Due to skewed media portrayal, the society and people may perceive themselves in similar light. The stereotyping, portrayal, representation, omission and commission of women, men and third gender in media may lead to distorted socialization, visibility or invisibility about them in society. It is in power of media to question, challenge and facilitate diverse gender definition, roles and identities. Equal representation in media will lead to more equal society. There are individuals, organizations working in direction of mainstreaming gender-sensitive media content, which includes professional associations, United Nations and national organizations. That's it. Thank you.